Hey guys! So, BlizzCon is over now. And I was wanting to make this vlog where I kind of give you guys my thoughts on what it was like for my first trip ever to BlizzCon. You know, what my experience was like. What I liked, what I was disappointed by, things like that. Um, and I was kind of wanting to do this with the PTR here for HOTS because Varian was released for the PTR today, but for some reason it keeps disconnecting me from BattleNet. So I guess we'll just settle for playing as against bots while I do this, and let's go against bots so that I don't get distracted and not messing participate sometimes and mess things up. By the way, this is the Nexus Cat mount that I got for attending BlizzCon, as my BattleNet recognized that. So, anyway, what was it like? Well, let me go ahead and look at my, because I took a lot of photos here. I wanted to do a video where I actually showed you guys the photos, but unfortunately, I am not getting good cooperation from my phone. When it comes to that right now, it's not cooperating very well right now, so I decided let's not do that. So instead, it's just gonna be hard to do while doing a match. I'm realizing that, but so I'm thinking, um, I guess let's start off with the opening ceremony. So what I was expecting, first off, well, I guess I should say first off, how was my overall trip? I loved it, and by the end of it, I felt like it's over already. I was, it makes you feel like you wish it could keep going. You wish that it was longer, that it wasn't, you know, only 2 days, because then you feel like, oh, if only. But yeah, that's kind of what it felt like afterwards. You enjoy it. Oh my gosh, you enjoy it so much that you wish it was longer, and you also felt like you didn't have enough time to either try everything out or check everything out or meet everyone you wanted to meet, because there are so many people there and it's so big. Um, and if there's a lot of people that you want to meet, and I had in my mind a number of people that I wanted to meet, but I didn't get to meet all of them because, one, I never knew where they were at the time. So it's hard to be able to, unless you are completely coordinated with the people, those people, it's going to be extremely hard to do that. It took me a while to meet up with a couple of people I knew were going to be there, who I've met via Twitch, uh, you know, including Ash Munster, who you guys have heard me talk about. You saw, if you've seen my spectator video of what it's like spectating in HOTS, that was when we were, messing around with just custom games in her stream. That's when I did that video. But I was able to meet up with her and be able to meet her in person for the first time, so that was fun. There was a couple other people I got to meet, including Selenity and Leska. And I also got to meet several devs and such. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's go ahead and start with the opening ceremony. I mean, obviously, if you guys had the virtual ticket or such, you would be able to, see it yourself as well. You'll see in one of my videos I've already uploaded, I had to find a seat way in the back because there were so many people and already there that got an early seat that I had to be in the back. But fortunately, they had so many screens, you weren't really able to miss anything. So there were a couple of things that I was hoping for and didn't get. One of them was an I thought they were going to have a nice, maybe farewell tribute or such to Chris Metzen, because he is leaving the company, and I thought, because he has done so much, wouldn't they be able want to give a nice little farewell tribute to him, and maybe give the fans the opportunity to say thank you, Chris, for everything that you've done. We appreciate it. Just like have him come out on stage and be able to, get a like thank you, Chris, or chant going, something like that. That's what I thought they were gonna be able to do with the opening ceremony. But I don't know. Maybe Chris. I'm saying Chris as if I know him. I guess Mr. Metzen, though I'm sure he'd be like, "Oh, please don't. No, that's my dad. Don't call me Mr. Metzen." Chris is like, "I'm too cool for that. I'm not old enough for that yet." But oh gosh, this is what happens when I play adept difficulty. Of course, I get the bad AI, and meanwhile the other AI is really good, the opposing AI. But I was just hoping that that was going to happen, something for Chris Metzen as a tribute to him before he leaves, and there was nothing really, nothing at all, and it very much surprised me. But maybe that was Metzen's choice. Maybe he was like, I want to go out kind of quietly, not have a big rah farewell or anything like that. Maybe that's what he wanted. I don't know, but. I'm sure there's a lot of fans that would have loved the opportunity to thank him. I know I was one of those who want to thank him for all that he's contributed to Blizzard and the games. Because after all, a lot of what has happened is because of him. And if it wasn't for him, my gosh, these AI just focus on me ridiculously. Wow. This is why I got tired of playing adept difficulty in my showcase videos. Because it feels like I've got bad AI teammates, while the opposing AI is really good, But anyway, so that's one of the things that I was disappointed by for the opening ceremony, that there was nothing for Chris Metzen. The other thing that I was hoping for, I think a lot of us were hoping for, was the announcement of a new expansion or such for Diablo 3. Instead, the only thing that they announced they announced a couple things. One of which I did not expect, which was to celebrate the anniversary of Diablo 1. They're going to put an event where you get to relive Diablo 1 in Diablo 3, which is really cool because I never got to play Diablo 1, so this will be my opportunity to be able to experience that for the first time. Also, the thing that pretty much everyone was expecting, which is they are going to add the Necromancer as a playable class in the game, which is something pretty much we all knew and everyone's been clamoring for a long time. I never played Diablo 2, so I wasn't necessarily one of those who was screaming from the mountaintops, add the Necromancer, but, I'm all for adding new classes to a game like Diablo 3, so by all means. But, the rumors that were swirling around was that we all thought was that they were going to add either a new expansion to Diablo 3 or announce Diablo 4, which but they did not do that, and I even kind of asked them about it later on when it comes to the story and such, and they were very hush hush about it. They were like, yeah, I can't really discuss it. So that tells me that I guess they are working on it. They just are not at the point where they can actually announce anything about it, which surprised me. I thought by now they would have done something along those lines, that they would be comfortable announcing something like that, but maybe not. Maybe they're focusing on other things, and a full-on expansion or new game is not quite ready at that point yet. That they were okay being able to announce an anniversary event and a new class, but apparently not enough to be able to do an entire new expansion or such. So it was a little surprising and disappointing. I know a lot of people probably felt the same way that I did about like the lack of a new expansion being announced. But hopefully that's something that we can hope for in the next BlizzCon. Something like that, which would be pretty cool if that's the case. So those were mainly the two gripes I had when it came to the opening ceremony and the usual like, oh man, what announcements are they going to do? And they didn't do those. So those were the main things. Take this down while getting my cooldowns here. After the opening ceremony, what happened? Well, basically, that was when you could be able to go out and try the showroom floor stuff And one of the first things I want to do, because one of the things that they announced that I really liked was when they got to heroes, they announced 2 new heroes coming, which we were like, okay, they're gonna announce 2 or 3 new heroes for coming for Heroes of the Storm, and they announce Varian, which a lot of us expected, but I actually did not expect that they were going to announce the Fire Lord, himself, Ragnaros, which was like, what? And so they said they're both playable on the showroom floor, as well as a new brawl, which is like, okay, that's cool, But news of a new hero is bigger than news of a brawl, because brawl is fairly new. But anytime they can add certain cool new heroes to the roster, that is something that a lot of us can look forward to, especially myself, because I love it when they add new heroes to the roster that can kind of maybe have a big impact on how the things are in the game, as including the current meta and such. And I right away wanted to go to the floor and try out Varian and Ragnaros, as well as a lot of people felt the same way. So I did get to try them out. As I said, I want to show you guys how Varian is in the PTR right now, but unfortunately, for some reason, I keep getting logged out of Battle.net, so it won't let me. But anyway, I'll tell you right now, I like both of them. I love Varian's versatility, either as a tank or as a DPS, and he is good either way. Either way, he's very good. He can be a very good solid tank, and don't underestimate how good of a melee assassin that he's gonna be. Because I'm telling you guys right now, when I got to try him out as an assassin, oh my goodness, I thought he was wonderful. Right up there amongst I think he's going to be up there amongst the rest of the melee assassins as one of the best, because his kit as a melee assassin was pretty cool. He didn't really have an ultimate, but I mean his basic attack stuff is very solid and really good. Of course, I will say that when he eventually goes live, which I believe they said, considering that Variant just got released for PTR, he'll probably be out live next week. And I think Ragnaros will come out at some point later, maybe in December, is from what I understand. So, they had other things on the showroom floor, such as go try out the Necromancer for Diablo. They announced a new hero, Zombra, for Overwatch, so a lot of people want to go try her out. The line for Overwatch was so long. Oh, and of course they had the arenas for each of the different tournaments, for each of the different games for the esports scene. Overwatch had its own arena. I never got to go inside, but I saw it on the video screen, and it looked pretty awesome. Of course, the second day when they had the finals, everybody would just stop and watch the screens as they showed it, and everyone was glued to it to see what would happen. And I can understand why, because those can be very intense matches and such. And I may not know that much about the teams or who's involved and and things like that, but like for example, when I watched the tournament for Heroes of the Storm, I'm more so just enjoying the competition of seeing people play, play the matches, because the matches can sometimes be really cool to watch. That's why sometimes spectating isn't such a bad thing. It's actually can be quite fun, And, oh my gosh, look at this AI push here. Oh, man. And then oh my gosh, they're pushing to win! They're pushing to win! Ah! Ah! I got trapped by the wall. Of course, I have dumb AI teammates. 3 of them are down here. Why are the 3 of you down here when you should be over here defending this mid push? If you pick, it's insane how bad the AI teammates are on Adept, and how good all of a sudden the enemy AI is on Adept as opposed to Recruit. It's such a jump in difficulty. It's kind of absurd how big the jump is. My gosh, look at this. They're going to push to win right now. We about to lose to these AI, but, that's because I got some dumb AI teammates and probably a bad comp here. But, Oh my gosh, hammer. So anyway, while I'm dead here, um, they didn't really have anything that caught my interest. For the World of Warcraft showroom floor, it was Mythic Keystone Challenge. It wasn't anything big. Obviously, with Legion just now being fresh and having just been out for only a few, or rather a couple months, there wasn't really going to be anything big for World of Warcraft at this one, being that how fresh Legion is. But they did have a couple panels such as what's next, what's coming next, and so that had some good stuff. If you want more details, I'm not going to go into full details here. They have full articles or videos on it. You can rewatch those panels individually on the virtual ticket. Although I know that some people are going to upload those individually on YouTube as well. So if you want to look those up, you can do that as well. I'm trying to recap some of those things. Let me take a look at my photos here. It's a shame that I'm not going to be able to show you these two guys, but they had some cool statues and just stands and such. They had a lot of really cool merchandise and memorabilia on display for the gear Blizzard.com Blink shopping option that you could get. For all the different things that you could shop for there. As you would imagine, a lot of them were pretty cool, though also really expensive. So, yeah, there was that. Oh my gosh. Instant death against the Butcher there. But, yeah, and of course the cosplays were really cool to see. There were so many really good cosplays around that made me go, oh wow, that's, there was a couple of giant Reinhardts. Almost like the legit size of how Reinhardt is in the game. And speaking of Reinhardt, I actually got to see the voice actor. They did have the voice actors at a separate panel, but I remember in one of the main lobby hall areas, there he was just doing the voice of Reinhardt just with fans, and as they were taking videos and pictures with him. It was just cool seeing the voice actor there, just like, hey, I'm just yeah, I'm here with the fans. Oh, you're a fan of mine. Oh, thank you for that. He's just really cool about that. You guys can check out some of my other videos if you want to see what it was like walking into those halls and what the showroom floor was like with the screens. One of those is like right in front of the Overwatch showroom floor area. You'll also get to see where I was sitting for the opening ceremony, way in the back. But as you'll see, there was plenty of screens. There were a lot of really cool statues on display. Near the Diablo one was one really cool one with Tyrael with the armor and Eldruin, which was pretty awesome to see. Let me see if I can, before I die here. Yep, I knew I was going to die. That's just how it is playing against Adept AI, apparently. I don't know why. There's this huge jump in how good or bad the AI is. It's really silly. But, yeah, they're probably going to do a big push here to win. But, yeah, the statues looked really, really cool. One for Tyrael. There was one for Illidan near the World of Warcraft showroom floor area, where it was just him in his full form, looking at himself, at his hand with his hand in front of him, like, I'm angry, as Illidan usually is. I also took one of the big screen. It's basically just the Legion cover art. That was there. I also took one where I actually got a good seat for a couple of panels. I got one for the Heroes of the Storm State of the Game panel, where Dustin Browder and a couple of the other head guys talked about what was coming for this game, which some of the announcements I was very pleasantly surprised by. Things that they are going to be addressing and trying to improve in the upcoming months or year of 2017 for Heroes. Some of the upcoming changes, I can tell you, I really like, and I think are going to address some very important things for this game. So let me go back down to recruit here. So another cool one that I took a picture of was one of Gramash Hellscream with his foot on the head of one of those pit lords, which I assume is what was his name from Reign of Chaos? Manoroth? which it's basically it's just one of those pit lords that you would see. So it was pretty cool seeing him, just seeing him with his foot on there. Another area, the StarCraft 2 area, called Joey Ray's Bar, which of course made sense, had one of Jim Raynor in full armor, looked really cool. And then another in front of the StarCraft 2 Hall of Honor, which at first I thought was for the characters, but then I realized it's for the players who have won the world championships for StarCraft 2 in the past. They had it was like a Hall of Fame, and there was one of Kerrigan there as in full Queen of Blades form, and that looked, all the statues looked really cool. There was another one of Tracer in front of the Overwatch showroom floor area where she's posing with her guns, doing a blink. There was also another one in front of the Overwatch arena where she was like an action figure, like in a box. It was like as if you picked up a box of a Tracer action figure with the, how those look from if you're one who likes to collect those action figures. It looked exactly like that. As I mentioned, I did get to meet some of the people that I had wanted to meet. Sadly, one of those I did not get to meet was Jesse Cox. I know he was there, and I know some people were like, "Oh man, I'm so glad I got to meet Jesse." And I wrote them, I said, "You met him? I've looked all over for him. I can't find him. Where'd you find him?" And he was just like, "Oh, it was just in some hall." And I went, "Oh, you just randomly found him where I just can't find him." But I did get to meet Ash Munster finally in person. It was great getting to hang out with her for a bit. She wasn't feeling well though, so she went home to take a nap, and just wasn't really feeling up to going around for the rest of the con. But it was cool being able to meet her before she had to go home. And that was, I mainly spent the majority of the second day from when I got there, apart from seeing a couple of panels, including the 25th anniversary panel where the co-founders of Blizzard were there talking about what it was like in the early days, founding the company and such. It was cool. Then afterwards, going to see the entire fall championship tournament for Heroes of the Storm. I know they had some other ones they finished up earlier in the day, like Overwatch and World of Warcraft Arena. But obviously, you guys know how much I've invested into Heroes of the Storm. I mean, for goodness sakes, you guys are seeing me play it right now as I'm talking about this, which shows you I'd rather be doing this than other games for this vlog. But yeah, and one of the other last things that I did, oh my gosh, the majority of the enemy team is here. I'm probably gonna die. Let me try and see if I can take out someone like Kael'thas here. Ah! Oh my goodness. Couldn't help finish off Leoric there. But also, trying out Ragnaros and Varian was not the only thing you could try out, because they did announce a new brawl called Blackheart's Revenge, which you can actually try out now on the PTR. And one time when I tried it out there on the showroom floor, I kid you not, it was a matchup of 10 Novas. I just started laughing so hard and thought it was one of the funniest things I'd ever seen. I took a screenshot of it because I thought this is way too funny to pass up not taking a picture of this. Seeing 10 Novas participate in this, I thought was really funny. Of course, all the different triple taps and precision strikes, and of course that's kind of one of the points that they made about brawls, is that anything can happen. You could have one of the same hero, which I thought that would be absolutely hysterical. And it was visually, just seeing 10 Novas participate in this brawl was just so funny. That was one of the last things that I did before it all ended. And that was while the Weird Al Yankovic closing ceremony concert was going on. But I did see some of it because they actually put it up on the screen at the showroom floor area. And he helped us, with his song selection, helped us get in touch maybe a bit with our inner Star Wars nerd by doing parodies of songs in Star Wars form. One about Anakin as a boy in the first movie. Another one about Yoda. It was pretty funny. Whether or not you like Weird Al or not, it was pretty funny to hear those songs. And one of the also another thing that I really enjoyed being able to do, and that's probably something that at BlizzCon is one of the only places that you can be able to do that, is I spent like maybe an hour or an hour and a half towards the end of the first day just talking with one of the guys who was running the lines for the showroom floor, because what I found out is that anyone working the showroom floor for a certain game is more than likely going to be someone who's a part of the actual dev team of the game. And so I realized that one of the guys there working the line was a part of the actual dev team for Heroes of the Storm. And I knew that I'm probably not going to be one of those who's going to get an opportunity to ask a question at one of the panels, because that's kind of a very exclusive type of thing. You also got to be very lucky in terms of being able to, get in the right position of those lines in order to be able to have an opportunity to talk to one of those head honchos of a question that you're wanting to ask them about. And realizing this, I took advantage of the opportunity of knowing that I may not be able to talk to any of the head honchos about it, but I can ask these devs my questions. And he was, he'll go without saying, because he was kind of like, he and I talked about a couple things where he was like, yeah, you didn't hear this from me. But it was just fun that he was like, oh yeah, sure, feel for more than free to talk to me about this. I talked to him about various different things. If you guys have heard some of my rant videos, or not rant videos, but just some of the rants I've had within my showcase videos, you guys probably also know about some of the issues I have with this game. And I talked to him about those issues, and he's like, yeah, I know what you're talking about. And it's something that we have talked about and we're working on. And it just made me feel better to know that a lot of these issues that we have, they are fully aware of, and they are trying to work on. That they are in the process of either discussing it or implementing it within this next year in the game to try and vastly improve those issues that many of us, including myself, have with the game. And that just made me feel a lot better about it, knowing that he's like, oh no, trust me, we are aware, and we are definitely looking to address that issue. So that made me feel a lot better about that. And it was just one of the cool opportunities to be able to know that you're actually getting an opportunity to speak with a member of the dev team for any of your games. And you could do that for any of the games on the showroom floor. If you want to talk to an Overwatch dev, you could do that there. If you want to talk to a WoW dev, if you want to talk to a Diablo dev or a Hearthstone dev, any of the devs working the showroom floor for their games, you could do that. And that was just a really cool opportunity to be able to do that. And it's, knowing... I'm almost kind of rambling on here now as I'm trying to pull this off. There we go. Got Zool there. The entire team is here. I'm probably going to die. Or not. They're just going to ignore me. Wow, okay. Obviously, I'm playing AI. Because no way real play... Oh, I picked the wrong talent. Oh, well. So, anyway, I guess there's I'm thinking about it, and I was able to get a cool illuminated horde hat. Not many hats to select from there at the Blizzard store. They only had a certain selection available. So, but that's kind of the majority of what I was able to experience there at BlizzCon myself. Just being able to, attend some of those panels live. As I said, the details, there's so many details and stuff to go over. It would take forever, and it would be a very long video if I discuss all that myself. You can be able to easily look up all the stuff that they talked about and revealed for the game. See if I can pull this off here. No, you don't, Lily. I got you. Oh, she got away. Oh well. But I guess basically that's pretty much it, guys. In terms of like the main stuff that I got to experience and check out while I was there. Um, some panels here and there, mainly Heroes of the Storm focused. Getting the opportunity to meet some cool people, including some people on Twitch that I've checked their streams out. They may not have known that much, but they did kind of recognize my name because my name appears in their stream. I put my name on my badge, so I was like, yeah, recognize, and they were like, oh yeah, and they were like, oh cool, it's nice to meet you. So that was that's one of the I realized one of the cool things about BlizzCon is being able to meet these people that perhaps you have met in these games that or when they're playing the games, and you finally get to meet them in person for the first time. It's really cool being able to do that. And it's one of the things why a lot of us feel like these games are social and very social in that regard. You get to meet and discuss, things with these people about these games, and then you finally get to meet them, and you feel like, hey, you're meeting a friend that you've been out of contact with for a long time, and that's one of the cool things about this whole experience is being able to do stuff like that. So, it was a really fun experience, and I can honestly tell you guys, I absolutely want to go back. Want to go back. It's a trip that I would love to do, every year if I could. Whether or not I can, who knows what the future is gonna hold. But would I love the opportunity to go to BlizzCon again? Absolutely, I would. Being able to be there in person for things like that, to be able to have the opportunities to talk with a lot of these really cool people for Blizzard. I know that they had just really cool stuff there, and lots of people there that were like, yeah, feel more than they love talking with the community and the fans that are there. They had all these different things available for you to speak with them in person, which just made the whole experience like, oh man, you actually get to have an opportunity to speak with these people and just talk to them in depth about these things. I had a feeling I was going to die there. I was trying to see if I could end the core right there, but it's a trip and an experience that is absolutely enjoyable and worth it if you are a fan of Blizzard. If you're not really a fan of Blizzard, I'm not really sure why you would be there anyway, but it's kind of like you have gone to the paradise for Blizzard fans for fans of Blizzard games. It really does feel like that, being able to be amongst all these people who are fans of the same games that you're a fan of, and all these people who had a very strong hand in developing those games. It just makes it where it's an incredible experience that you would love to re-experience again. Being able to maybe see how things will be different next year. Or being able to have more opportunities to meet some of those people, like that you didn't get to meet this time. Like maybe next year I'll have a better chance to meet up with Jesse Cox than I did this year. I don't know, but it's definitely something that I'm so glad I finally got to experience, and I hope I get to experience it again in the future. Fingers crossed. Who knows? How things will change, or what's going to change, or what the future has in store for us and Blizzard. But is it something I would recommend anyone who's ever been a fan of the Blizzard games and such to experience? Absolutely. If you've never been able to experience BlizzCon, and you are a fan of Blizzard and always wanted to go, I hope you get the opportunity to go someday like I did, because it is a trip that, if you are a fan of these games like I am, and like many of us are, you will absolutely love it. Being able to see all these panels, be able to try out all these things that are exclusive to the showroom floor for now until they go live later on, being able to meet all these people that you either have heard about or and have always wanted to meet, or maybe you're hearing about for the first time and realizing that they're kind of notable figures in the community, and that you want to be able to, have an opportunity to talk with them and just get to know them as just as, I guess, a regular Joe, maybe is the term to say, or maybe not. I don't know, but just getting, because you get to meet these people that we maybe consider celebrities, and they're like, oh, I'm not a celebrity. I know Jesse feels that way. But it's just one of those really cool experiences that the memories are going to stick with me for the rest of my life. And they would probably do the same thing for you. So anyway, that is pretty much the gist of my experience at BlizzCon. I absolutely loved it. Hope I get to experience it again someday. And I hope that if you want to experience it yourself, that you will get the opportunity to experience it yourself as well. So that's pretty much it. Again, if you guys want to know more details about what they did announce for some of your games at BlizzCon, they have articles and vids that you can be able to look up, and for things like that. Highly encourage you checking it out as we finish off this match here. And when and if you're curious, I will definitely be doing videos for Varian and Ragnaros when they go live, and obviously reference what I experienced with them at BlizzCon compared to how they are live, which I don't think there's going to be that much of a difference, but I'm looking forward to that. So I will see you guys next time. And also, if you guys have any other questions that I may not have talked about or addressed in this video, if you have any questions about certain things, whether or not I got to experience that, what was it like experiencing this, feel more than free to ask me. I'll be glad to answer any of those questions you have. So, like I said, I'll see you guys next time.